Hey, hey, hey! Trust and vulnerability on the way. FYS, Interpersonal Mindfulness, FS 101. Trust and vulnerability and how that plays into building interpersonal relationships.
Oh, hi. So, trust and vulnerability. How can one deepen interpersonal relationships without it? It's a very good question. Let's learn why it's necessary to have trust and vulnerability in your life. Trust, vulnerability. Get with it, it's dope. Trust and be vulnerable with people.
My name is Hadley Hughes.
Isaac Billings. I'm Michael Lee.
Kylie Jackson.
Puma.
Sabrina Nunn.
It's Matt Gregg.
Kendrick Brown.
If you want the world to know one thing about you, what would it be?
I would say that I want folks to know that I do my best to make decisions based on principle and to try to explain as much as possible why those decisions are made the way that they are.
Maybe why I'm here. And it's because I feel like being able to help students is a gift. And I'm not here for money or anything like that, but like I take pride in what I do and what we do here. And I feel like it's a gift for people to be willing to come and share what's going on for them.
Question number 2. Are you vulnerable with people that you are more attracted to?
I find it easy to be vulnerable with people I feel comfortable with, and that I've just honestly just strike up like a comfortable relationship with to begin with. You know what I mean? Like we met each other on like the first day of like being here. You know what I mean? So I'm comfortable like answering these questions because like we've established a friendship and all that already.
And I think because I think a form of attraction is something that intrigues like me to you or to someone who I enjoy being around. And I think I wouldn't be attracted to you if matter of when I'm attracted to someone, whether it be a friendship or a significant other, I feel that I'm more relaxed, more confident, and as a result I'm able to be more vulnerable.
I mean, I believe that relationships really start with yourself. And so if you can't trust yourself, or you don't feel comfortable in your own body, then it's going to be hard for you to really be out there in a way that could develop that trusting relationship.
Absolutely, because if you don't have a sense of what it is you're capable of, what it is that you find yourself attracted to, repulsed by, if you don't have that sense of knowing yourself and trusting yourself, how can you establish that kind of relationship with someone else?
Agreed. How long do you have to know someone before a certain level of trust and vulnerability is established?
There isn't exactly a timetable. It really depends on the setting in which I've gotten to know the person, whether it's a few texts a day or a Snapchat streak over a long course of time that's more distant, or whether it's spending a lot of time kind of secluded day after day. That timetable
I think
kind of
for me
shifts.
personally, there really is no timetable to it. It depends on I guess you could say there's no set timetable. It depends on like how long it takes for me to like click with that person and become comfortable.
How important is it to be vulnerable with people in your life?
I'd say pretty important.
Why?
Because vulnerability is just like if I'm vulnerable with you, that means like I care about you, and you're probably, you know, vulnerable with me. And just the way people interact when they're being vulnerable with each other is just like so much.
I think it's important to have a balance, kind of being vulnerable and being secure, if that's like the kind of opposite of vulnerable. I think if you're vulnerable all the time, you'll maybe get hurt more often, not necessarily hurt in a way of like physical harm, but maybe you'll get screwed over in a number of circumstances. But it's also important to be vulnerable, because if you're too secure all the time, then you miss opportunity, and it's just added stress that you don't really need.
Qualities attract you to certain people, relationship-wise, romantic-wise, friendship-wise.
That's a great question.
Or closer.
Well, first I feel like we need to have some kind of connection. Okay. So usually that starts off with something we have in common. So just working here together, or maybe it's something fun that we have an interest in. So I try to find that first, and then so I get something in common. But then over time, somebody that I would trust, or attract me to them. I think it's a person that's interested back as well. So you could share something about yourself, and if they're not curious back or not asking questions, like a mutual
mutual interest, huh?
Yeah, mutual interest. Like I'm interested in you, you're interested in me. Like we, we're feeling like we're interested in each other. We're connected in that way. I guess another thing would be sense of humor. Okay. Someone who can laugh, and I don't think I'm like the most humorous person ever, but like to give me some credit there sometimes, right? that helps if you're just like saying something you think is funny, and the person's just like flat. Yeah. Then that's not quite as so somebody who's like engaging with you. Right. Right.
You don't want things to be one-sided.
Right. Or they're like, if it's a coworker and they're only here because they're only talking to you because you work with them, it's not like they actually care. Yeah. Right. They're just like, they'll just say hi to you because they have to or something.
It's working relationships, huh?
Yeah. So like somebody who wants to talk a little bit deeper, not just say hi, how's the weather, but like to be curious about you, right? I think someone that's accepting, patient. A lot of the things like what a counselor would do, those kind of qualities, like not judging.
I think a quality that really makes a difference for me is, are you ethical or not? And what I mean by that is, when you're in a situation that challenges you to do the right thing or to go by whatever code you determined for yourself, do you actually follow through on it, even when you get criticism for other people? So ethical goes a long way with me.
So something that me and the guys here have talked about was we have this trust/vulnerability deficit, as we call it. That's the term we coined it with. And so it's basically everybody in life somewhat needs a certain number of people that they need to be vulnerable and trustworthy with. So what do you need personally? And not a literal number like 3 or 4, but in general, what do you think that you need to fulfill that trust/vulnerability deficit?
I would say very few people. I think maybe like my family, and then maybe like 1 or 2 other people. I don't know. I feel like just a few people. Maybe you can classify that as 3.
So I'm thinking like, well, first of all, I've been on this campus since 2001, so 16 years. So I've known a lot of people around, and I value that. Like I feel like I've built trust in a lot of my colleagues. And then I have friends still from college, a couple of friends from high school, and then extended family, neighbors. So we're looking at, that could be like 100 people or so. That would be like, and not in the closest trust circle, but in at least like an outer trust circle that I consider friends, that I consider people that I can be vulnerable with, that it's not just, hi, how are you doing? Like that they can come to me and say, I'm having a tough day, and I can do that with them.
To answer our final question, are vulnerability and trust key elements and building interpersonal relationships.
So overall, yes, trust and vulnerability are key elements in deepening and strengthening interpersonal relationships. Yet we have found that every person has their own approach to how they use trust and vulnerability in their lives.
The process is different for everyone when trying to discover how willing they are to become trusting and vulnerable. We have learned that throughout this project, every healthy relationship has consistently been forged with trust and being vulnerable.
We encourage you to reach out and find people who you connect with. If they reciprocate the honesty and vulnerability that you give, it's going to definitely be worth the process. Don't be afraid to trust and be vulnerable with people.
Trust and vulnerability. It can have a beautiful outcome.
Trusting.
And signing off. Sayonara.